What's up, YouTube? Getting right into Chapter 6, Shikamaru is seen consulting the elders of the Leaf Village. Shikamaru doesn't know what Boruto is planning, but does point out that he was essential in driving Code back. But even so, the elders still view him as a threat, especially to Kawaki Uzumaki, and therefore he should still be eliminated, and to also restore Konoha's honor in the process. The elders tell Shikamaru to just accept the Hokage position permanently, as it's been 3 years, and Shikamaru just replies that he'll report back later. So I am wondering how Koharu and Hamura are still alive. Maybe Orochimaru should be asking them about immortality. But anyway, Shikamaru does face the hard task of running the village. So real quick, over the years I've heard various YouTubers' opinions on how long Boruto will go on. And I believe at one point the original writer of Boruto wanted Boruto to end at under 30 volumes. Since then, Kishimoto took back over, and I definitely believe that changed. If the Naruto-Boruto series as a whole all wrapped up within 100 volumes, that would mean we only have about 10-11 volumes of Two Blue Vortex left, and things could get or end up that way. However, I believe that Two Blue Vortex should at least be 20 volumes. Naruto Shippuden was longer than OG Naruto, so I believe the trend should continue with Two Blue Vortex being longer than Naruto Next Generations respectively. Hell, I'd love for the story to span past even 20 volumes, but I don't think it's likely, given that Two Blue Vortex is monthly instead of weekly, and also part 1 of Boruto was 80 chapters. So I hope that Two Blue Vortex will at least have 160 chapters nonetheless. But either way it goes, I'll cover it all. I won't be covering spoilers because I like to save my opinions for the actual chapter. But I definitely check out the spoilers before each chapter to form my thoughts about what I will put in the videos and execute going forward. Back to the chapter, Shikamaru goes to his office and asks Ino to personally deliver him some old mission logs, tapping his head in the process when she enters the office. After Ino walks out, she establishes a connection with Shikamaru via her mind telepathic contact. Shikamaru tells Ino he doesn't want anyone listening in on their conversation, including the censor team, Ada, Amato, Kawaki, everyone. Shikamaru just wants to talk between him and Ino. Ino says that's against the code, but Shikamaru informs her that this is for Konoha's safety in the long run, and he tells her he needs this favor. In the next panels, Ada explains to Kawaki about the Shinju and their nature, and that they're targeting Ada herself and Naruto Uzumaki. On top of that, Damon also tells Kawaki that the villagers could learn about Kawaki's lies. And even though Boruto and Sasuke are criminals and know the truth and no one will believe them, if the Shinju come to the village looking for Naruto, Kawaki will be exposed. Kawaki is a little shocked, but nonetheless he's still confident in believing he can defeat the Shinju. Kawaki leaves, and when Ada asks where he's going, he doesn't answer. Instead, he just says if she wants to know, she can just spy on him. Once Kawaki exits, he's seen by Mitsuki. I can't really tell or not by the panels, but I really hope Mitsuki didn't overhear what Ada, Damon, and Kawaki were talking about, because his face looks pretty disturbed. What do you guys think? But Kawaki is kinda upset by Mitsuki always being around, but Mitsuki insists that it's his mission, so I guess this has been going on for the past 3 years, so I can't imagine Mitsuki ever letting up, because he was all up on Boruto like that. After that, the scene switches to Boruto, Sarada, and Sumire. And Sarada is all shy, not knowing what to say to Boruto since it's been like 3 years. But as all of them reunite, Boruto shares his information about how Sasuke got absorbed into the God Tree. And at that same moment, Kawaki senses that Boruto is nearby again, to where Mitsuki prepares a snake. So when I first read the chapter, I was under the assumption that Mitsuki overheard what Ada, Damon, and Kawaki were talking about, because he was just right outside the room. And his face did look visibly disturbed, so I already knew he was kinda on demon time. But back to the trio, Boruto was blaming himself because Sasuke sacrificed himself so Boruto could get away. And Sumire asked Boruto why are the Claw Grimes trying to eat people and not Otsutsuki. and Boruto goes over what we learned in the first couple chapters, that the usual life cycle of the Ten Tails is turning into a god tree after the Otsutsuki is consumed. But in this case, something changed because the Ten Tails, or the Shinju, is already evolving into a god tree without the Otsutsuki being eaten, because Boruto and Kawaki are the only Otsutsuki and they're still roaming around. But we see that Mitsuki immediately contacts Shikamaru to know where Boruto's at in his presence, because Mitsuki knows that Boruto can extinguish his chakra just like Kawaki because they are Otsutsuki. Mitsuki tells Shikamaru he wants Ada to pinpoint Boruto's location, and Shikamaru asks him about Kawaki. Mitsuki ended up knocking Kawaki out by having the snake bite him, and tells Shikamaru that Kawaki is unsuitable to track Boruto because they can sense each other, so therefore Boruto will know when Kawaki is around. So this is crazy to me. It looks like Kawaki has inherited Ishiki's ability to be caught off guard. This is insane. But in a way, this Kawaki-Mitsuki situation is just like the Kaguya and Ishiki situation back then, with Kaguya catching Ishiki off guard. Only difference is Mitsuki didn't kill Kawaki. Once again, back to the trio, Boruto has a hypothesis. He believes the god trees have already evolved because they were turned into claw grinds by Code. Code himself isn't an Otsutsuki like we know, but his karma is an aspect of Ishiki's chakra. And this here kinda shocks me as well, because I don't know about you guys, but I was under the assumption that the Ten Tails was already evolving into a god tree because of the claw marks influence, not the white karmas. So what's causing the evolution of the god trees? The claw marks Shinjutsu or the white karma seal? So if it is indeed the white karma seal, like Boruto believes, I have a theory of my own. I want to liken the white karma seal to the Gedo Mazo statue. I say the Gedo Mazo in particular because the Gedo Mazo statue is the Ten Tails devoid of chakra. We know this. That's why in Shippuden the Akatsuki were going around trying to gather all the tailed beasts to seal all the bijou inside the statue and restore the Ten Tails. That was Obito's goal. Project Tsukunome. We learned the Gedo Mazo in particular was keeping Madara alive. Madara was using it as a life support system. Because we learned that even though the Gedo Mazo is the Ten Tails and devoid of chakra, it has a huge life force. And that's why I wanted to compare it to the white karma in particular. Because if it was the white karma's influence and not the Shinjutsu claw marks that caused the Ten Tails to evolve into the god tree already, or the Shinju rather, then it means the white karma seal is truly more powerful than we're all thought to believe. And I have thought about what it could be. The white karma seal did come from Ishiki after all, or what we're thought to believe. Because many people are still under the assumption that Amado made the karma seal, the white karma seal himself, and hacked something onto Code. And I do think Amado has something to do with it, but I think it's more complicated than that. If you haven't seen my video on arbitrary code execution, you should check it out. But I do believe Amado has transplanted some kind of virus into Code and made him make the Shinju sentient. But I said it's complicated because having said that, I still do believe that Ishiki did implant the seal into Code. Amado merely just took advantage of it because it was simply just empty data. Only Ishiki's power, not his soul. And since his soul wasn't present, I believe Amado put something else there in the interim. Instructions to create the Shinju, but it's still only a theory. Back to the chapter, while Boruto is chopping it up with Sumire and Sarada, Shikamaru immediately contacts Boruto telepathically through Ino and tells him that he's about to have company and not to freak out. Shikamaru and Boruto exchange a few words, but before they could have anything meaningful to say, Mitsuki immediately restrains Boruto with a snake and attacks him. Boruto's sword just immediately flies in the air, and Boruto himself teleports to it with flying Raijin. Sarada is trying to tell Mitsuki to calm down, but even Mitsuki says he doesn't know if he can control his emotions or power at that point, and goes on to attack Boruto. We then see yet another one of Boruto's new jutsu to counteract Mitsuki's Sage Mode enhanced snakes. Boruto uses the purple lightning and channels it through his sword. So a lot of people thought Boruto was going to learn the Chidori too, but he can't because he doesn't have the Sharingan. Well, technically he could, but there would be no reason to use it. Even so, the purple lightning is more effective anyway, and I'm glad Boruto knows it. Boruto then retreats the village, but as he runs away, he promises Sarada that he'll rescue everyone who's been turned into a tree, and also declares that he will indeed be back. Boruto kinda gets mad at Shikamaru because he could have made it to where they could have talked uninterrupted, but Shikamaru says he can't do that because he can't do too much without exposing himself. But he does indeed want Boruto's help with all this, and even asks him if he's truly Boruto Uzumaki. After listening to Amado saying that he thinks his own memories are fabricated, he starts to think that his own memories are fabricated. But he does say that everything makes sense when Boruto and Kawaki's places are shifted. Boruto finally gets out of range to where Kawaki wouldn't be able to trace him, but he's still connected to Shikamaru. Boruto tells Shikamaru that he has a loose end to tie and that they'll talk later. Mitsuki then arrives on the scene and Boruto tells him he might have to get a little rough with him. This was a very good chapter and I loved it. What did you guys think? I want to talk about and address some other stuff too, because I see it a lot from Boruto casuals who say Boruto is trash. The casuals are still saying, how did Boruto master the Flying Raijin? Just like that. He already has the karma, he's Otsutsuki, he's got Uzuhiko, and now all of a sudden he knows Flying Raijin. So let me explain that real quick. Even going by what Sasuke said in Two Blue Vortex, while he trained Boruto over the time skip, he himself said that Boruto is a natural genius and things just come naturally to him. And we literally see that all throughout part 1. Boruto doesn't have Naruto's chakra reserves. Not before the Otsutsukification anyway. But Boruto was shown to be way more clever and tactical in battle. And as Kakashi himself stated, Boruto has inherited Minato's genius, and furthermore Sasuke states that if Boruto hones his skills, no one would be able to surpass him. I want to also note that it's very impressive Boruto mastered the Uchiha style without Sharingan, and with one eye on top of that. Boruto hasn't shown it lately, but he also knows the gentle fist despite not having the Byakugan. He has Hyuga genes after all, and now that we know that he's inherited Minato's genius, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he could just naturally learn it. These feats on top of multiple chakra natures put Boruto in elite company as a ninja, and it's not surprising at all that he learned the Flying Raijin. Furthermore, Boruto purposely limits himself by not using his karma and not relying on it like Code or Kawaki. He's choosing to rely on his own power rather than Momoshiki's, and that's why he deserves the power he's attained. Even though Boruto is now 100% Otsutsuki and has a natural amp from said Otsutsukification, he still relies on his own power rather than Momoshiki's, and that's commendable and Boruto's right. Kawaki, on the other hand, is nothing without his karma, and does not mind embracing its power if that means he can destroy Boruto, Momoshiki, and subsequently any other potential Otsutsuki. It's kinda sad that Kawaki is nothing without his karma. Dude is literally a cyborg. The most expensive of Kara's cyborgs, mind you. And still, without karma, he's nothing. But that's it for this video, YouTube. In my next video, I'm going to be discussing the White Karma Seal's influence on the Claw Grimes and Shinju, and our dive into 8 Paths sensitivity. I say 8 Paths sensitivity because Ishiki was shown to have 8 paths. 8 Magatama instead of the usual 6. Also, Kawaki's unnamed dojutsu has 8 spokes, and he inherited said dojutsu from Ishiki himself. The White Karma Seal came from Ishiki as well, and since Boruto believed the Shinju evolved because of the White Karma Seal, that means the Shinju have inherited 8 Paths essence. But I think everyone is under the assumption that not only the White Karma Seal but the original True Karma Seal as well, all of them are beyond 6 paths. But I'll be sure to cover it all in my next video, guys. So stay tuned. Later.